Hi, it's Russ from Produce Expert, and I've got myself a copy of the new Waves Metafilter, which was announced at NAMM 2014. It's a show and tell review. I'm going to show you it and then tell you what I think. If you've not already downloaded it, then I'll give you a full tour of it first. And it's basically broken up into three parts. We have the frequency, we have the resonance, and then we have the delay. And in a sense, what then happens comes from outside here. So we have a frequency control, which is controlled either by LFO, follow, so the audio input is creating a follow signal, and I'll show you that in action in a second, or the sequencer down here. There is a fourth way as well, which can be controlled by a keyboard, so you can actually play MIDI keyboard in. And I've got it set up here so I can drive it from a keyboard. And if I play a low note and a high note, you see it going up and down as I'm pressing my keyboard now. And so you can actually use a MIDI keyboard to trigger it, and obviously you could create really complex trigger patterns instead of using the internal sequencer down here. So then you have the resonance of the filter. Let's say a 12 or a 24 dB slope on it there, and then again you have the LFO controlling it, follow or sequencer. Then we have the delay section, and again got the LFO, the follow, and the sequencer. So to make any of these things happen, you can see here on the outside, then we have these trim switches basically, which either work positive or negative. So if I want more LFO to be controlling the frequency, then I'd push it upwards or go backwards the other way. And as you see, as I push it up, you see it starting to move with the LFO here. And of course, if I then move the LFO up, make it faster, you can see it working there. So anyway, I'm going to turn that back down again because I'm not using the LFO on this. I'm going to show you what I've done in a minute. Then we have Lfo Shapes. So we've got obviously sine, triangle, saw, square, and random. Then we have it synced, so it can sync to your sequencer. And then speeds there. And then the follow at the top here, which would be this one here, again, negative or positive. It has different shapes as well. See them there. And then we also have the sequencer here, where you've got 16 steps of sequencer, or that can be as small or as long as you want it within the sequence. And then you can either drag these sliders up, or you can put it into draw mode, and you can draw them in like that and draw shape. Then we have the input and the output and the mix controls. So you can use it in parallel. So you can have some of the signal or none of the signal and mix the two together. Then in the top corner here, we have the spread. That's how the filter, all the processing that's going on affects the stereo pair. And that's actually quite useful. I've used it on the hi-hats. You'll see that in a while. And then we also have smoothing it to smooth out the filter as it goes through, a drive and a crush. You can do some really dirty, gritty stuff as well. Then in the delay section, obviously you've got all the normal things delay would do. We've got the controls here for the time. And then we have, again, feedback, dry and wet for the delay. Got the analog switch, somewhat reminiscent of the H delay. Then again, you've got these sliders to choose how the delay has been affected. Has it been affected by the LFO, by the follower, or the sequencer here? And then, as I say, you've got this here that denotes whether it's 100% or 150% or 200% on the right to the left. So we can put them, so often what we do with delay tricks is we'll have the right delay working different to the left delay to create a stereo spread. Then we have the signal routing here. So either the delay can come after the filters, or it can go round in a circle, create a feedback loop, and create some really interesting effects as well. So there's loads and loads of presets, as you'd expect. All sorts of stuff, from pretty cool to damn right nutty, and everything in between. So it's worth checking those out. So let me show you in action now. So let's start with this bass guitar, or this bass synth, should I say. So here's the original first. So what I've done with this one is I have the LFO driving the frequency, but I also have the sequencer. You can see here, I've got 4-stage sequencer, basically up and down, simple as that, driving it as well. So, and you end up with this result. You can also see as well the resonance is working as well, and some delay. So if I turn the resonance down for a second, obviously you don't get the pronounced effect, and of course the slope's at 24, so it's even more extreme, so I push that right up. So I've got a square wave, synced at half a beat, And also the LFO's doing some stuff there, and then the sequencer's doing stuff as well. And when it's smooth, bit of drive. So that's just the filter now. And it's mixed, so there's the whole. That's just filter now. But we can mix them together. So now I've got quite a complex arrangement set up here. I have the frequency and res controlled by the LFO, and I've got the sequence also running the freak as well, and then I've got the delay control from the LFO, a little bit of follow on the delay as well, and then I've got the sequencer synced with my DAW running at 1.8, and I've also got a little bit of smoothing, drive and crush to give you this effect. So here's the original again, let's play it here. Here's the new one. Okay, let's see something simpler now, which is this beat. And what I've done with this beat is I've assigned a controller in my automation there, the frequency, and that's simply got a sweep going on. Then also, I've got the drive going on as well a bit. I want to crush it too. I just want it to work as a pretty straightforward filter. Now the hi-hats are exactly the opposite. They have all sorts of stuff going on. I have got the LFO controlling the frequency, a little bit of follow, and I'll show you the follow in action in a moment, but I've got the follow doing mainly the res, and what happens is the audio comes in, depending on how we've got this set, it will do different things to the sound. So if I play you this, there's the original. And for a second, let's just turn the LFO off. So what's happening is the hi-hat now is driving the filter. And we change the way that filter's working. Got cut, band pass, low and high pass. Some mad stuff there. Or just volume. See what it's doing there with the pass. Now the follow can also use a sidechain input, so you could have a kick drum doing it instead. There's some nutty stuff here. Now depending on how that's set, if we pull this down to here, but the cool thing is this is where the spread comes in, because what the spread can do can offset stuff left and right. And create like a second hi-hat going in that right hand side or left hand side. Add some delay in. And that's going round in a circle, so the feedback loop will do some nutty stuff if it's up high. So instead we could add the delay in like this. and have that controlled by the sequence there to get some cool kind of tape effects where it's slowing down and speeding up because the sequence is changing time there. So as you can hear, you can do some really radical stuff with it. So what have we got here? We've got a filter that's controlled either by LFO, by a sequencer, or by a follower. Add into that, you've got a delay unit, and add into that, you've then got the ability to do some spread, which is the stereo imaging, to smooth it out, to drive it, and to crush it. It's all running in HD as well. You can do all sorts of mad routing, lots of variables. It really gives you a filter on steroids. So I would say if you're a bit of a filter geek and you like using filters, then this is one worth checking out, worth going over to the Waves site and download it. We'll put a link in the story as well where you can download it and try the demo. And let us know what you think. There's lots of filters out there. And but I think this is a cool filter. It's got some great features. It really is, as I say, a filter on steroids. There's not much left that a filter could do. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.